Alright, what's up you guys? Time for another video. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video about this Trump and trade war thing. I don't want to come into this by being told that I'm some long-haired hippie weirdo conspiracy theorist on drugs. If you're gonna come on my video and try to say that, I'm talking about shit out of observance and what I'm looking at YouTube and what I've noticed in actual life. If any of you, some of you guys already know me, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anybody else that comes on here, oh, a long-haired hippie weirdo and some conspiracy theorist and you're on some kind of drugs, I'll tell you in advance, you can just go fuck a porcupine. I don't give a fuck. Save your shitty-ass comments, really. They'll be just something for me to actually laugh at. If they're worthy, I'll mock you. But bear with me a little bit. You know, like if any of you guys that already watch my videos and just like know me, I wanted to use this video as an information where I'm getting some of my stuff, you know what I mean, too. And I understand that there's conspiracy theory stuff that's way out there. I understand that. But I look at a lot of YouTube videos, like, I don't know, some people say that the Vice channel you don't trust. I don't know, but there's a lot of interesting stuff about all kind of shit that's wrong in the world on there. And there's other YouTube channels. I mean, I wasn't just looking at Alex Jones. I listened to Jim Quinn when he used to be on a rock and roll station, and back in the 90s when I worked at a factory, one of the best paying jobs I ever did. Back when I was laughing in people's face because I was a long-haired hippie and weirdos, you call it, and then lived across from a restaurant, and I didn't spend my money on drugs. I was always eating out, buying CDs, and buying stereos, and laughing in people's face like the old people saying, "Oh, he's probably selling drugs." It's like pissing people off, having like people wanting to be nosy, like the Jehovah's Witnesses or any kind of different people, or coming in for religious reasons. I try to turn them away, let them talk to me, you know, like, you know, just gossip, or neighbors coming over to gossip, see what I got in there. Oh, there's no drugs in any of that. So I was like that, you know what I mean? And then I knew what was going on in the political world and everything else too. But yeah, this ties in some line of work I do now once in a while. And to understand what I'm telling you here too, where China and Trump is, okay. And I don't want to tell you my life story, but then there's different levels of construction work that you do, different levels, okay. I wanted to tie this into too, when I didn't have my fancier job anymore. I went to college and then I'm doing things now. I took things like, you know, video production stuff that I was going to do. I don't want to go on and on about that, but I had intro to business that actually counted as an elective, and my intro to business instructor said some very interesting things that tie into all this, so I don't want to jump subjects, okay, but you know, you look stuff about the trade war between us and China, and you look at like some of these YouTube videos like Vice or other kind of people had their YouTube channels, you know, that talked about how China, even though they're rather different compared to how our country is inflating things, how other countries are inflating things. I mean, other countries that consider themselves communist or democrat, okay? China, there's these videos, I don't know if people want to say these are conspiracy theories of lies and fake pictures or whatever, but there's these YouTube videos, and I didn't, of course, in parentheses real quick, before I get to the point talking parentheses, I didn't have no fucking internet back when either, you know, I didn't give a fuck. Back in the day too, there was still AOL dial-up, DSL was barely invented, you had a lesser version of Windows and everything else, and I used to throw away the AOL disk that was always thrown in mail for free. I have no fucking idea I didn't put in it or be up where I am now. But there was a lot of things that I'm seeing on fucking YouTube. But anyway, China building all these fucking buildings, entire cities not being occupied. You know what I mean? So China's doing it in a rather unique way. There's a lot of things to check on it. They kind of force, I know their banks, their system. They say, their government says they want to have all such shit built to just, if there's no work, it's literally created. They inflate their currency at a rather weird way, unless you think these videos are all lies and they're showing all these building entire cities. Nobody there, and you know how long they're going to keep freaking doing it, but they're just building this shit. They're building it. And then I want to tell you, yeah, how I know that our country does it too at a certain level, okay? You look at YouTube videos about stuff that's literally getting abandoned. It's being built and it's deteriorating later. But we got shit now that we're still building, okay? That they don't even have to go ahead and build it and worry about that shit. They sell it online as a picture. And I work little construction gigs, okay, for these contractors where different levels where you're paying certain much just to walk around and pick up their garbage and stuff. That literally, because of online things, they'll show you a picture of the damn place, and you'll have a plot that the foundation wasn't even fucking poured yet, right? And it says sold with a sign on it. And they didn't even they're building this. And there's Amish people with tool belts and people speaking Spanish on with nail guns. But anyway, yeah, we're doing that shit too, okay? It's like, I'm looking at this, holy shit. And to jump a subject for a second too, before I even had the internet, before I was watching the YouTube videos I'm telling you about, okay, like I was hearing like all these like stories, and when I was in college and I had the intro to business elective, just because I went to college, I'm not saying I have this high degree and I know it all, I don't do that shit. I was trying to take video production, and some of you guys know me, I'd probably one of these days go way further into some other things that I wanted to pursue college-wise. And there's a point where, you know, if a piano falls on me, the student loans will curse and shake their fists when they see my obituary, okay? You know, but anyway, my one intro to business instructor was saying the shit before I even saw these YouTube videos and conspiracy theories. If any of you guys that got this far in this video that already know my videos, okay, one of the most fascinating things that this instructor told me when I went to college, and I don't know, maybe you guys took something like that in college and he told you a different thing, but he was saying, and keep in mind, I'm barely, you know, back then, I was barely learning YouTube and internet, all that bullshit. My first YouTube videos was like, I'm gonna make a video. I finally am gradually starting to find them things that I made back in 2011 and shit. Start gradually deleting them when I find them, you know what I mean? I didn't get around to deleting them. But this instructor was telling me that these different levels of contractors, you know what I mean, too, that, okay, if you worked at just a construction job or industrial job, a lot of times you know, you say you know this stuff, and sometimes you find shit that you didn't realize. But this instructor told me of these very high-profile government subsidized how we went to war with these countries and we were sent soldiers right to all these countries like Afghanistan. After September 11th, that we sent soldiers to go and finally clobber Saddam Hussein's forces once and for all. My instructor was telling me after all that our government's literally sending all kind of money to these contractors that are overpriced and everything to go rebuild this shit. And you can perceive too that, yeah, once it's rebuilt, there's probably fucking terrorists blowing shit up after all that shit. You know, I imagine that's happening too. But I don't want to get the names wrong, but he was talking about one. Literally, but later on when he's talking about this shit, I was later discover YouTube videos and different people talking about KBR and Halliburton and all that shit. I mean, there's just too much shit to get your head around. But so yeah, anyway, I had a vague idea. I mean, you don't gotta fucking tell everybody that they're conspiracy theorists. But yeah, later on, you know, I guess, you know, one of the better, I was lucky for a while, I had one of the better paying industrial jobs, right? Then college for a while. Then the line of work I do now, you know, they pay you like per job. You can take it or not take it through an agency, right? There's lesser takers, so they pay more an hour, and if you don't piss the money away, you save the money when you got to pay your rent or your bills the next month. You can't piss it away like I did when I had my fancy paying job, because it seems like a lot, but the minute you go and spend it, you just might all of a sudden, you know, maybe wintertime or work slows down. But try not to make this too political. It's for people that know me, okay? Where I don't know if you've had any bosses or anybody or people you work construction you knew that worked that laugh in your face, or even bosses that would be very open to saying this, but or admitting this, because you know some's true to a certain extent. That you may have somebody that you work for, like there's contractors, right? And there's subcontractors, and if you were hired through an agency to do something, you're not necessarily a subcontractor. Your agency sends you to help get some do this. You could be a subcontractor. I don't know if you could be a subcontractor, but you know, I wouldn't doubt it. But anybody where I don't care if it's a lawn service business, you can have a subcontractor that if there's not enough work, get somebody to do it. And if there's lesser takers, you know, they'll have Amish people speaking. Like I've been around at it, and it's very fascinating. I met friends, so I'm not entirely go Trump, death to everybody because they're Mexican or because they're black. I mean, there's good and bad people everywhere. I mean, there's truth to both sides. I mean, you don't want to just. So yeah, I met some people that were pretty cool, but I'm not saying everybody is bad either. But I've been working in these places, and some people are more friendly than others, and they fill in certain jobs. I think there are some people that out there somewhere that they'll be hiring people that are illegal so they can take advantage of them. They're desperate, they can get deported, so they pay them shit, work their ass off, and they can be paid shit. You know what I mean? But then they'll try to do it to some of us too, where you're barely making it and all that. At the wrong places, I guess, could do that too. But you got some of our own that are homeless and all that too, and everything else. But anyway, I remember being one of these like places. I met a YouTube video that I should show you some of you guys. I don't want to be posted links, but maybe bold it into this video or title it. Where I took little pictures here and there. I was sweeping up these places they're putting right up really quick with nail guns. And I don't sit here and make videos, you know. I do my fitness stuff like that. It's usually on the way home from or outside of places. So my YouTube isn't political per se. It's like rants, but I don't know. There's just a lot. This is just like random shit that only some of you guys that actually frequented at my channel would even give a shit. You'd probably turn the video off early. But anyway, yeah, we building places that, you know, they don't occupy it. One of the closest things that I have ever seen and been around that I know for a fact that there was a little thing that made the news, but then it was never heard from again. Okay, you got this far in this video. You know how I told you China's building all these buildings, multi-story cities? Well, there was like a township I was sent to, like for my agency, like that I did one job, me and this other dude, you know, we're there. And occasionally my agency will actually, if it's farther away, they arrange for you to get there. It's a little farther away and it's in more like a city. And way back, and this is rather unique. Okay, if any of you guys have seen my videos, I would like you to make a comment, okay? And if you have seen places like this, where if you admit that for any line of work, that say there's a township, it's more like city-like environment over here, or some of it's kind of rural over here, maybe like out in the boondocks, and you go into somewhere for some reason, and like it's a whole different world. You ever been in one of the places that's like, holy fucking hell, you didn't even know this shit existed. It's like a whole other world. Where I had an assignment like that was just that multi-story buildings. And I'm wondering, like, where in the fuck are people getting the money? What are they doing for a living if they move anybody in there? I mean, really nice if it was like a building, it's like a benches all out here, real nice, and like squares where it's like, I don't know, you don't want to call them parks, but stuff being planted. Scaffolding where they're putting these siding on, but some of it was nice looking outside and not really ghetto. It was definitely far from ghetto. And I asked some people and say, oh, some of the people from here and here are probably working here. They're probably going to put them in there. But I'm like, still, is there that fucking many of them people? But anyway, in the one of the jobs I'm going to tell you in detail that I was learning about how people, I don't know everything about cement work and contracting. You know, I was doing these jobs like you do were told, right? I did cement work with my stepdad, different things, okay, and I acquired some cement. We did our best and did drywall. Yeah, any of you guys watching this video, you helped, maybe your earliest thing about work ethic was helping your dad, like, with fix the car. Even though in that area where I was this long-haired hippie with a fancier job going to a restaurant all the time, there was no place to park, so 10 years without a TV and without a car, I thought I was getting over by spending all on food, and the job wasn't that far away. I either took the bus or wanted to. But anyway, yeah, just because I didn't really own a car that way and blow all my money on fancy car payments to show up, I wanted to have fancy stereos, which, by the way, now, years ago, they're just junk. They look at you like you're nuts now. Your stereo and your TV is all the fucking phone. You can watch TV on your fucking phone or iPad, you know. You don't need no stereo or big giant ass speakers. Yeah, part of this video is about Jesus Christ, you know. 25 years ago when I was younger, long-haired hippie, being younger, now bald spot, you know, still got the ponytail, it's all gray. And like, what the fuck? You know, everything that you used to own is now junk. They inflate everything. Everything is inflated. Everything you bought that you thought was fancy, you gratify yourself, whether you're a black guy watching, whether you're somebody like me or you're like one of my friends that were black, you know. Your leather jacket, gold watches, gold chains, and maybe went out to drink a little bit, but you like the beer with a good fish sandwich, you know. So, I mean, then all of a sudden, whatever car radio or with everything is junk. And oh yeah, and some of my gigs too were scrap yards, which, fuck. I mean, I could do a whole video about that, how things are piled up, metal, all kind of things that were once somebody's fancy, gratified junk, and all of a sudden the new. Everything. It all goes with this inflation. Goodwill stores like clothes, gazillions of clothes and baling wire that sometimes they sell and sometimes they don't. Then you got these free clothes places that are so overwhelmed that they could give them so much shit thrown in the garbage that it's like recycling. I've been around places that, you know, big bunches of things recycling. I want to do a video on, okay, that cardboard and plastic, it's being put out there faster than people can fucking recycle it. Now the Chinese and different places have made the news that they don't want it anymore. They say, well, it's probably because of the Trump trade war too, but we don't want this being dumped on us anymore, and they want to send all our stuff in these recycling centers that I've been in. Jesus. I mean, this video ain't just about inflated currency. It's a conspiracy theory. Since, you know, my things were my job, some of it's construction, and some of it can be. I mean, it's as overwhelming and crazy. I can see why people would want to develop conspiracy theories. But when there's some facts out there that. Well, anyway, this one building that I was working for or whatever too, like, there's this place I was working for, they didn't even have the streets paved yet, right? Yeah, before I got off track. I should make a total different video to tell you this, because the way people were doing cement work now, that this was a different procedure that I never got to see in person. It was rather interesting. You know, keep in mind, the buildings were already up. They had siding up and everything. They were putting up in scaffolds. The streets weren't ready paved yet. They got these machines everywhere, right? Instead of, and this is weird, one of my functions, okay, I was picking up 50-pound bags, busting them open, throwing it into this machine. It was very loud. I had to have ear protection, right? instead of, you know, some of the cement mixers you've seen, somehow this equipment does it all. And before I got started, I remember me and this dude, I said, oh, what do you want to do? You want to hold the hose, or you want to be the machine and pull up the bags? And I thought I was doing this guy a favor by saying, okay, I'll do the hard thing. Oh, the 50-pound bags I'll be lifting all day, throwing in the machine. And I was thinking, oh, a hose, gravy. I was, you know, karma would have really got me that day too if I was an asshole. Okay, for example, if you were some troll looking at this video and flipping me off, I'm that kind of guy too. I complain about, I'll talk about videos about gang stalking, right? If I think you're in a job to fuck with me. I'm the nice guy where I'll try to, instead of being a total asshole, I'll do something just to not be accused of. Even if you hate me, I'll try to do a favor, and part of me, I'd gratify myself that, yeah, I'm not a whip, I'll do, and give you something that I think is easy. If I was an asshole, but it turned out what I didn't know about this particular job too, I didn't see the hose, okay? But anyway, it was a machine where you pick up the 50-pound bags, which I thought was, I was taking the hard job and being nice, throwing it down this machine. It's very loud. Oh, and it turned out, I found out the next day, I don't mean to laugh, anyway, the next day I was still laughing about this, but the end of the day, okay, I found out with the guy that the hose was the hard part. It was a heavy-ass hose that took a couple people. And this machine, okay, they brought it in. It was larger than a fire hose, and I guess mixed the cement. The hose would shoot cement in the already built place, okay, and I took a couple of guys. I wasn't in there. If I wanted to be the person, okay, and if I thought that I was going to be an asshole and leave you with picking up bags, okay, and thinking that I was going to be an asshole and be selfish, and thinking that I'm going to use just a hose with water, I presumed that I would have been in a world of shit, and then I ended up feeling bad for the guy afterwards. You know, I was doing this in the sun. It was dusty, clouds of dust everywhere, and so but anyway, there was like another, and this township that I was like, I know about this township. I don't want to tell everybody the exact location either, but I didn't know there. I went with family members. You know, there's shopping plazas here and this kind of environment over here. I didn't know anything was way back here. It was a whole different fucking world that they're just building. And I'm like, where the fuck people will afford if they do move in to get into these places, okay? So our country is doing it too. You know, and I'm jumping subjects, but this is a lot to get your fucking head around. But anyway, I saw a couple days later, me and a girlfriend, you know, I usually make the supper because she's making my cooking better. I saw the TV news. They did one clip and they showed this place and all that. It made our TV news, and you didn't hear from it again. Unlike other stuff that you hear on the news, which slow news day, man, they're still repeating it weeks later, you know, and we know about it. But anyway, this place, it showed a picture of it. It made the news, and supposedly somebody was indicted or something because whoever was in charge of the whole building project for this place, they lied to get the loan. Somebody on some high level, okay, gets loans to build this shit. I don't know, the structure, the way our country does it may be similar and different in certain ways between us and China, but they're fucking doing it. But the way people do it sounds like conspiracy theories, and there are conspiracy theories, but at the same time there's really shit going on, which is hard to get your head around it. But anyway, like, you get these high-level contractors and low-level subcontractors, and you could get in some job and a gig somewhere that you don't get to be every day, and then you get sent somewhere else, and it's like. But yeah, I actually been to one or two of them, and they operate different ways. There's ones like I said that will be built and abandoned, just like on YouTube. Well, before I ever had internet, there was places that people just built and all of a sudden were abandoned. Bad location or bad investment, and all of a sudden, I mean, YouTube is full of, you have to get around whether something is conspiracy theory or not. You not only have to watch the YouTube videos also about these abandoned buildings, like Exploring with Josh, and all several story malls that are getting abandoned, all kind of different shit because times are changing. And have an open mind and not just say these are fake videos. And you have to, there's shit that goes back when I was a teenager, even before there was internet, barely out of school. There were places that were built that I went, fishing with stepdad, or back years ago when if you ever had it where you were a teenager, and your stepdad decided to go strapping a little bit, pickup truck, do the redneck thing for a while when times were harder, or just for fun, scrapping, picking up scrap, places that were abandoned or anywhere around it for different reasons before even the internet. You have to have something close to that in your backyard or been around it at any level to not say everything's conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? If any of you guys, you just... the only reason I made this video, and I don't just damn delete it, because this is a lot of shit to get your head around. But if it's basically worth it, a couple of you guys that I know you'll be watching right off the bat know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, this is shit that I could break down and make into a lot of videos, but yet a lot of things that are being created and built just because somebody can create a loan, inflate the currency, or somebody got the power, all kind of different shit to go on. I mean, it's a lot of things that somebody's willing to loan somebody the money for this business venture. A lot of people get denied, but how come these people out of nowhere, whether something succeeds or not, all of a sudden, bam! It could be some stupid shit, that'll fail, and all of a sudden, banks, bam, give them a loan. Are you going to say just, oh, it's all Jewish bankers? I mean, is it all the Jews? I mean, I think like these crazy people that are out of nowhere shooting people. I mean, you got a freaking mafia of every nationality. Come on, everything is Jewish bankers. Not that I'm sticking up for Jews over anybody else. I mean, you got Mexican mafia, Russian mafia, mafias of all kind of countries. Every nationality has people that are very underhanded, and then they also, in their stereotypes, have people that are too nice for their own. Every nationality has people that are too nice for their own good and get walked all over and are oppressed, and they're trying to run something. And with the expansion of everything, for whatever reason, people don't got nowhere to go. I mean, it dovetails into, if you got this far in this video, watch the video, The Story of Your Enslavement. You want to call that a conspiracy theory? One of those two versions of that video, The Story of Your Enslavement, talks about, way back in the area where industrialists were started, and liberties were granted to you according to your productivity, and how countries inflate the currency and crush future generations of massive debts. And everybody, at every level, just, throws money around, and they just print it out of nowhere. And watch YouTube videos about, I saw one about the Russian mafia, where the Soviet Union was going broke. The whole country was going to collapse, okay? And then they were talking about how they were selling their Cold War surplus to whoever buys it. They'll sell a submarine, they'll sell guns. And the people that were actually terrorists, that they're fighting, like I said, our country, we defeated Saddam Hussein, but even our country sold the stuff that we were going to scrap. to make a few bucks, and you know what they got, you know, and then they get any, we give them any, they give us any lip, we know what they got, kaboom, and you know. But then every country's watching each other that they don't get high-level nuclear weapons, other things that are very dangerous that your news doesn't talk about, that people got sonic warfare coming into play. Some of our diplomats leaving particular countries are saying getting sick. There's like radio and electromagnetic warfare, different kind of countries spying on each other for different reasons, and the countries that can inflate the currency that can produce the amount of money or create the illusion of money, which they make out of paper. It's money. The shit that is money, just because somebody fucking said so, is the thing that runs the world. And you can, I don't know, I wonder some days if you win the lottery even, or anybody wins something in a casino, so many certain people win, or so many people get famous and get these millions of dollars. The illusion of being rich, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you know, you get somewhere, yeah, they can just take it right off of you, just like, yeah, or if you're in some, whether it's government or some high-level suit job or anything at any level that, man, yeah, they can take it away. You got it. If you have any things that they don't like, you almost have to act totally like people, and you're told, you got to be told what to think or what to believe, you know what I mean? And plus, there's only room for so many people, whether it's being a star or being rich or being a high-paid person on a team, whether you're athletic or not. Some people get it, that deserve it, or get it. There's only so much room, so somebody gotta be offed, whether one way or another. Whether you, it's like, I mean, it's like so much room for so many people, and so much room for so many things being built to accommodate people, and all that. I mean, it's damn crazy.